because we saw him for so long in a bad situation that we don't really believe he's actually excellent. But I really believe Tannehill's actually excellent. Is he Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers? No. Russell Wilson? No. But is he comparable to some of those quarterbacks in the next tier down? He is. And when he's been asked to step up, he's played well. He's really played very well. This is going on 2 years now. So, yes, there's Derrick Henry and the defense and all that. But I think people are sleeping on Tannehill and therefore sleeping on the Titans. If you're talking about an actual sleeper that no one is talking about to win the Super Bowl or to at least get there, I'll give you one that'll shock you. Look at the Miami Dolphins, who the last time they had a sensational young quarterback, really the last time they had one, got there in Dan Marino. And two is a different kind of quarterback, but with that aggressive defense and maybe just enough weapons on offense, his accuracy, his poise, his big game experience in college, that's the kind of team, and they have an easy schedule for the next 4 weeks, and then it gets tough. But if they get in there with momentum, 8-4, 9-3, and they even split their last 4 games, that's a double-digit plus win team. It's not impossible. Double-digit plus win team with momentum and an aggressive defense and an excellent young, accurate quarterback heading into the playoffs. That's a team people are not going to want to face.
I got news for you, Max Kellerman. That's not bad, but I think I got one better for you than that. How about the Las Vegas Raiders? Ladies and gentlemen, John Gruden, Mike Mayock, not doing a bad job. Now, we all know, I've asked Damien Woody, I don't know if you were here when I asked, I said, where's my job as president of basketball operations for an NBA team? I mean, if Mike Mayock can be a GM, why can't I? I've said that before because he was in the media doing what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Doing what we're doing before he got the GM job. Look, talk about privilege, but we'll leave it alone at that because I'm being somewhat facetious. Let me be very, very clear. Mike Mayock's doing a good job. John Gruden's doing a good job. They're 5-3. Have y'all seen Derek Carr play? Derek Carr had something to prove. Derek Carr is completing nearly 70% of his passes. He's got 16 touchdowns, just 2 interceptions on the season. Josh Jacobs can run with that football, even though he needs to average better than 3.7 yards a carry. This kid, Darren Waller, can ball. Nelson Aguilar looks pretty damn good. Henry Ruggs, this brother can play deep pattern. This brother he can spread an offense now. Okay, so they've got some weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Their defense still needs to be improved, but it's definitely better than it was a year ago. But let's look at the schedule, and let me remind y'all of who they've beaten. Carolina opening the season, no big deal. They beat the New Orleans Saints. The Kansas City Chiefs have 1 loss on their record. That was to the Las Vegas Raiders. And over the last 2 weeks, they've beaten the Browns and the Chargers. So I'm going to say it again. The Saints, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Chargers. Now, I say the Chargers because we look at their record. Very deceptive. Anthony Lynn is in trouble because you can't keep losing double-digit leads with a rookie quarterback that's been playing the way that Justin Herbert has been playing. They've got talent on the Chargers. What the hell are you losing these games for, particularly when you got double-digit leads? But losing to them, or rather beating them, is a decent accomplishment. I'm looking at the Raiders right now on the come-up. And when we talk about a sleeper, somebody that can walk into an NFL stadium on any given Sunday and give it to you, they got the potential to give it to you. I can't rule out the Raiders. I like what I'm seeing. I like the job that John Gruden and Mike Mayock are doing, and they deserve props for that.
I'm kind of pissed right now because Max hit on something that he alluded to. I'm going with the Miami Dolphins. If people haven't watched the Dolphins, you better go peep them out because the Dolphins are coming. You're talking about a team in the Miami Dolphins. They've won 4 straight, okay? 4 straight. The Miami Dolphins are in the top 10 in scoring offense and scoring defense. They are 4th in turnover margin. This is a team that's very well coached. And Brian Flores, people were scratching their head, questioning why Brian Flores would insert Tua when Ryan Fitzpatrick was playing well. But if you watch that game last week against the Arizona Cardinals, you see why he inserted Tua Tagovailoa into the starting lineup, because he brings a different element to the passing game just at the quarterback position all around. Ladies and gentlemen, the Miami Dolphins are here. Very well coached team. They're not going anywhere. I'm telling you that right now.
I will say this. I want to give props to Chris Greer. He's the general manager, African-American. We don't see many of those in the National Football League. I want to give major props to my coach of the year, which is Brian Flores, and the job that he's doing, African-American. We haven't seen many of those in the league in recent memory either. So definitely, I would love to give them props, no doubt about it. But I'm telling y'all right now, there's something about Miami that just says, I'm watching their defense. I'm watching the way they play. Their defense has been big time at times, but they just gave up 31 to Arizona. I just look at Miami, and this everything to me says a year away, year away, year away. And when you talk about a sleeper, I'm looking at the Raiders.
They
and I'm
might
like,
be a year. They might.
Looking at the Raiders, and I'm like, the Raiders could do something right now if we sleep on them. They can do something right now if we sleep on them.
But I'll tell you
this.
But
I like y'all. I like Miami.
I'll tell you this. Miami, look at the teams. You pointed to the Raiders wins. Obviously, they're the only ones to hang an L on the Chiefs in a shootout. But remember, the Chiefs want to avoid shootouts, in fact, because that at least gives the other team a chance to win. When you look at who Miami has beaten and when they beat them, right? They beat a Niners team who then went in and thumped the Patriots. They beat a Rams team coming off a dominant performance in Chicago. Just now, they beat an Arizona team that was streaking in second place in the best division in football in a shootout, right? When Tagovailoa played against the Rams, everyone was like, oh, my God, here comes Aaron Donald. First play of the game, he's body slammed, gets up and game manages them to victory. And then the next week against Kyler Murray wins that high-scoring game. And I'm not even talking about the defense right now, which is really the strength of the team, how aggressive they are. Dolphins have something's like you look at. It's not just the 4 wins, the quality of the wins, not just the names of the teams they're beating, but the moment in those team seasons that they're beating them. The Dolphins are real.
Damian, I want to ask you this because you mentioned the Dolphins. Which rookie quarterback are you most impressed with right now? Is it Tua or Herbert or Burrow?
To me, it has to be Justin Herbert. I mean, just look at the circumstances in which he came in. Remember, his first start was when Tyrod Taylor was supposed to be the starter. He gets a bad injection, and they're basically saying, look, you got to go in and start. And he goes in and lights it up, and he hasn't looked back ever since. So for me, of all the 3 rookie quarterbacks who've all been playing great, Justin Herbert has been the one that's been shining the brightest.
All right, we'll leave it on that note.
It's hard to disagree with that, but Joe Burrow is completing 67% of his passes. He's got 11 touchdowns, just 5 interceptions, and the Cincinnati Bengals look pretty damn respectable and competitive. Other than the blowout against Baltimore, they've shown up and they've been very, very competitive. I got to give Joe Burrow a lot of credit and Coach Zach Taylor a lot of credit because considering how pathetic they looked last year before Joe Burrow arrived as an organization, as a franchise, for them to be an exciting team to watch and to see what they bring to the table, that's about Joe Burrow, and I got to give major props to him as well.
And by the way, Tua's 2-0, as I said, with wins against in very different kinds of games against the Rams and the Cardinals, right? But if we're talking about not going into the future, you can talk about that till you're blue in the face. 3 excellent choices in those 3 young guys. If we're talking about how they've played so far this year, to me it's Herbert, and it's not close. Herbert has been, in terms of his just quarterback play on the field, that dude is number 1 right now.
Marino-like.
He's been a surgeon on the field.